Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yonni Terryl.
And I'm just Terryl. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast. Random conversations around Married at First Sight, season 18.
Episode 4, man. Come on. I know I didn't write it up there, but still.
It wasn't on there. So, you know me, I need a script.
And this how we starting this already, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see how we do. Look,
Cheers.
special. See, he's already starting. Special guest today. He was the center of a lot of conversation and controversy on season 18 of Married at First Sight. We even got some phrases from him that now no man can use around his woman.
To be honest with you?
Yes, that one. Because you know what comes after that. and then once I scrolled through his IG, I remembered, hey, you know what? We're natural enemies because he's a Cowboys fan. Please welcome David from Married at First Sight, Chicago. Welcome to the show, man.
What's up, fellas? Cheers. Happy Friday.
Yeah, cheers to you.
Thank you guys for having me. And I do got a lot of sayings. Honestly, I don't give a fuck.
And to be honest with you, I will say, man, one of the things that I did see early on in the season is that your patience and the way that you were able to handle yourself we commend you for that, because there's a lot that Terryl would have snapped, I would have snapped a long time ago.
Oh, my inner Samuel L. Jackson would have came out week 2.
My family and friends have also given that how the fuck did you do it? Right. But to be completely honest, right on point.
Here we go.
It was more of a respect thing. Is how I was raised by my parents. Never treat anybody with hate or disrespect. And, you come on the show looking for love, but honestly, you don't know who that person is. So you have to be patient. And I am not a very patient person, to be completely honest with you. If I go to a restaurant and I don't get service and hey, I'll be right with you, I'm getting up and I'm leaving. So there was just a lot of buildup and a lot going on in this journey that we took. So it was crazy.
And we're going to get to to that journey and get back to the beginning of that journey. But, as I was just talking about your IG, the pictures look amazing. You look happy.
Happy.
To be fair, most pics on Instagram do, though, right?
Non-filtered.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Pure joy and love.
But from the numerous events that we've seen, the pictures taken of you and Madison, where you're not dressed like Drake in the Canadian tuxedo, actually just dressed like on your grown man-ish, to vacation in Barbados with the coconuts, the drinks on the beach, and playing golf, which, by the way, I will say, Madison's golf swing, way better than yours, but way more controlled. I'm just going to say that.
Hey, as long as I'm getting a 5 or a 6 on the back and not a snowman, I'm happy.
There you go. How's life been since the show stopped filming, since the cameras cut off, since the reunion aired? How's life been for the two of you?
Life has been great. I mean, I'm with a woman that should have probably walked down the aisle, firstly, and I'm just very happy. Our relationship is easy, and when I say easy, it's something that I want to do the little things and just be honest, communicate, be vulnerable, and patient. When we have our disagreements, it's a talk back and forth, not a nagging at somebody, poking buttons. It's just a me and her. It was tough, just holding, not being in the public, and wanting to do the things that we wanted to do. And now it's, we're getting recognized. We got recognized in Barbados as soon as we got there. It was like, you guys get this out here? Like,
sure do.
Okay.
Oh, this worldwide. You didn't tell us this.
But we've been to a lot of weddings. That was our first vacation together that we had planned. We literally threw 3 countries in a hat, just picked it, and we booked it and said, well, we're gonna go. And it was perfect timing because I think it was the episode of a match made in scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
And just to say this, because a lot of people have given a lot of flack over the entire season, right? I saw this up in the elevator the other day, just fun facts that, they put on these information screens, said 3 most expensive places to vacation right now. Number 3 was St. Kitts. Number 2 was Antigua. And number 1, Barbados, where you went. So...
Hey, I loved it over there too. The dollar, it was nice and meeting great people. I'm a Jamaican kind of vibe island like that, just respecting others and walk on, brother. And respect, that's it.
As a born and raised West Indian, that's Jamaica. Don't do that to the rest of us. But let's get back to the beginning and how this all started.
Yeah. So, David, curious. Why'd you sign up for Married at First Sight? We've talked to a lot of people and their story's always different. So what made you sign up for it?
So actually when my thing came from Married at First Sight, Instagram had reached out. I had never watched the show, never seen an episode. But it was, I'm 37 years old now. At the time I was 35. I did want that marriage, that family. I had my fun back in the day. So it was one of those things I knew that I was ready for in the aspect of having my 2 careers, knowing that I want to settle down and do the right things and have that, what I say all the time, that ride or die. And that's what I was looking for coming into that. And I knew that I could give her the respect, the love that someone needs to make a marriage work. I've seen it for 36 years with my parents, the ups and downs, the communication and just the love that they've given me and my brother. It's just amazing. They're like best friends, and that's something that I wanted. And I have now, actually. So it's, you bust my balls, I bust yours, take it, let's just have a good time with it.
I'm a little jealous because everyone always says that they got contacted through Instagram or Facebook. None of these dating shows have reached out to me ever.
They're not going to. They're not going to. Stop it.
I was actually shocked. And, when I did the video, I explained, my family background and what type of person I was. I honestly think I was in my office at work. And, had my loofah on top of my head that everyone, the bun James.
To the side.
Oh, yeah. My girl Camille helped me fix that.
Yeah.
So I just applied, and then I got it back, and then we went through that extenuous process of all the interviews with the experts and them vetting you and questionnaires, just like crazy. It's like, wow. So, but they did their part, and I guess they fell in love with me and thought they had a perfect match. So, and here we are.
The concept, I've watched this. Terrell hasn't watched it. He started, season 13. I watched it from season 1, right? Actually, I started probably about season 3, season 4, then went back and watched season 1, 2, and 3. Because I was intrigued by the concept. Is that what drew you to it? Because like he just asked them, why'd you sign up? That they reached out to you, hadn't seen the show. Was it the concept? Did you really believe that they could find you, that person, and you meet them at the altar and be like, happily ever after?
I did, for the simple fact of, it's like 3 experts that have been doing this. They stated that it was going to be hard, but it was like, what do I have to lose? Either I can find the love of my life, or I could just come out with a friend if it doesn't work out, that you went on a journey with, and not anybody can say that they did this. And it's a hard thing to do. And I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of everybody on the show that went through it. So
now I have another question, because when at least what they showed us, what you asked for was very specific.
my blonde and blue eyes.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, now I've flown through Puerto Rico many times. I'm just saying. What happened?
Growing up, I've always just dated white women. They've always been attracted to me, and it's just like, that's what I kind of fell in love with, watching those movies. They never say no. They make you say no. That's how it kind of all started when I was younger. But
Oh, shit.
you know, my mother's a strong Puerto Rican woman, so I was like, man,
You're like, not for the rest of my life.
Does it. You know, like, kudos to you, pops.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. She lays the law down. She's the boss lady. So, but yeah, that's I did ask for that, and that walk down the aisle, you know, there was that nervous, like, man, well, what are they going to give me? Because Pastor Cal did say, you know, we're not always going to give you what you are asking for. We're probably going to give you what you don't think you need.
Right.
We're going to bring it to you that way. But I mean, physically, they gave me everything. But the emotion and the attachment side of that family and having that strong bond, you know, unfortunately, that wasn't there, and I took an ass whooping for, you know, a couple of weeks. So
to that, because you literally just answered my next question, was like, were there any concerns that the experts wouldn't match you with what you asked for? Because we've seen this before, and again, you hadn't seen the show, so you may not have known this, where someone says, oh, I like long flowing hair, and they give a bald-headed man, right? You're like, no, this is what you want. This is what you really need. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your level of concern that they may not give you a woman that matched what you wanted?
Considering I was saying the word pog a lot during my interviews, and they were asking me, what is that? And I was a little worried that they were going to give me something different in the exotic aspect of just a different type. You've never opened yourself to this. I got lucky.
So what's a pog?
Per se, I guess. A pog, a fat ass white girl.
Oh, got it. Didn't know.
Yeah, we learned something new. Not only new phrases, but new acronyms too. Now, Terrell did not think that Michelle would like it. And I was like, why would you think that, right? And there are reasons for that. Terrell?
Yeah, so when you hear the interview, what Michelle's looking for, I guess in the early episodes before y'all met at the aisle, and then start interviewing you, I'm just like, she's not going to fall for that. And I was thinking about kind of the living sitch, right? So did you have concerns going into this? Like, hey, what if they match me with somebody who, when I tell them, hey, this is where I'm living right now, that they're not going to be okay with it? Because I think Michelle wanted someone to have everything already together, and they just work out instead of building with someone. And it sounds like Madison's willing to build with you, which is ideal relationship, right? Mm-hmm. But what were your concerns around that, having to tell somebody, hey, this is where I'm living right now?
I really wasn't concerned because I know what I have and I know what I want and where I was working towards, and I could do that. And I told her on the show too, I'm like, I could go get that when I want, but I want to spend it with someone that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. You know, I am barely ever home working the first shift from 8 to 2, 2 to 10:30. I golf, I bowl. It's like literally come home, sleep. And then when the whole big thing of like, I don't pay rent, it was more in that aspect of, I don't want to pay someone else's mortgage. I'd rather pay my family's mortgage to help them and know that I have something at the end of the day. I'm not just going to go like, oh, here's like $1,700, $1,900 a day that I'm paying your mortgage and you're banking in on. So everyone kind of took that out of concept. But I really wasn't nervous because I'm confident in myself, and I knew that I could provide what I needed to as a husband and as a man. So,
and by everyone who took it out of context, you mean that guy right there, Terrell?
No. I was just taking it what was shown on screen. That's all I can go off of.
Understandable. You're gonna get heat. You're gonna get flack. You're gonna get love and support.
Yeah.
So,
but what made you decide to unload all of your baggage on Michelle immediately after leaving the altar? If there's one thing I can say, go stop. It was that moment.
Oh, my friends even told me he's talking way too much. They called me out real quick, and I was like, I guess it was nerves. One, going through that situation, not knowing the person, but I also didn't want to get all the shit that I thought was not attractive, like on the slate. Mm-hmm. We were got a clean slate, so might as well. Because if you don't tell them then, and then 3 weeks later, then you bring all that shit up, and then it brings out, I was like, well, this is it now. You'll see me day 2 and see the things that I'm working on and who I am as a person. If you want to ask those questions and find out more information, I thought it was the best thing to do at that time, but it was not, but maybe it was, because now everything happens for a reason, and look where I'm at. So
exactly.
Wow. I thought it was too much. I thought it was too much too soon, but I'm wondering if you didn't do that, would that have changed anything about this experience for you? But speaking of places to live, I remember Michelle was constantly talking about your basement and all that. And then when they showed her apartment, I was like, this is just a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, college kids have this. I don't see the big deal. Like, what did you really think when you saw her place compared to how much she was shitting on you for where you're at?
Just as I said on TV, I thought it was basic. It was just nothing to be like an MM place. Like, if I walk in there, like, whoa,
exactly.
Now I see what you're saying, but it was just a 1-bedroom, a couch, open concept. Like, my apartment down there, I had 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, it's the same. Like, a come home, do that shit. Like, it wasn't. I just said it was, and then she took it as a defensive, like, basic, as it was just she didn't work hard enough for it. Which that's not what I was trying to say. I was just saying it was just a basic apartment in Chicago. Nothing hotty toddy about it.
Right. Not like she built it, so that's
Alan remodeled it.
Yeah, Alan's crown molding at the time.
Oh, my boy Alan.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there too. But speaking of the apartments, why, you knew the cameras were coming. Why didn't you clean up?
What they took in there, it was clean. I have a poor, I know how to clean. Mm-hmm. Like, I know my shit. Like, Fabulosa, get on your hands and knees. Like, back in the day, my mother said, you think this is fucking clean? No, come on. So what they showed is bits and pieces. I say, like, I didn't have a bed frame. Like, I didn't have a bed frame that the covers were hanging on the low. Like, I knew what they were going to show. Yeah. So, but it is what it is at this point.
The camera crew is coming. That's like lean on me. Code 10.
Hey, Mom.
Mom, things on this
side. That would have made it 10 times better. Yo, Mom, don't clean my place. While you're down there, heat up the meatloaf.
Yeah.
So, last question I have regarding Michelle. What are some things that happened that we didn't see on camera of you trying to make it work? Because what they showed you putting in all this effort, but what are some things that we didn't see where you were really trying to make this work?
It was trying to reach out to her, like via a phone or text message, like, hey, how's your day going? Or things like that. And, I wrote a letter on a piece of napkin saying what I was going to do, where I was going to be, come to get off work, it's in a trash can, no response, no, like, not even a text message, like, oh, thank you.
Right.
It was just consistently trying, but not trying to push her to the point where she was, fed up. Like, when we got back from the honeymoon, it was one of those things where she had talked to, I guess, production saying, the 2-bedroom thing, that we lived in separate bedrooms. And if that didn't happen, I think she might have quit. But there is just, I guess she said, there was something something was off about me, that I was too nice. I tried opening doors. I used to say, I guess what I always said was, like, a man should do this, a man should do that. And she's a very independent woman. Mm-hmm. But I believe she thought I was like, oh, I'm the man. But it was just, there are certain things a man should do for a woman.
Right.
We had a conversation about, like, she'd walk the dog at 11:30 at night in Chicago. I was like, you are not doing that if you're my wife.
Right.
Like, and I was like, oh, and I was like, no. But I was like, a man should be doing that. So, but there was just a lot of things that weren't seen. And then, the text message, I guess we'll get there sooner or later.
Well, since
why.
We're here.
Oh, yeah. Well,
since we're here, why didn't you just say it was for her?
With the edit, it was like, yeah, we were driving. But that was the first question she had asked right when we got on the expressway. My foot went down like 80 miles. Because when it was sent, she never had said anything to me. Mm-hmm. No text. Seen her in the morning. Nothing was brought up. Mm-hmm. A woman being married to, like, what the fuck is this? Like, so it was like, it made it seem like we were just having a normal conversation. Then that came up. That was the first question. Mm-hmm. And then after that, once we had arrived, she had just dropped it and we still had 2 hours to go. And nothing was brought up. So I was like, oh, cool, maybe I got away with it.
Maybe she didn't read it, like didn't read anything else that's
She
left her.
bought it.
Yeah. No reply. Okay, maybe.
Well, like you said, they'll do anything, right? So,
but there was one point, like before we did the family thing, we were having a conversation outside. The cameras weren't there, and I had said something about her nails, and she had said Soho House, and I had told her, I was like, she's like, why do you ask? And I was like, oh, I had a girl that I dated at Soho House. She's like, oh, is that the girl you were trying to text last night? And I was like, no, Michelle, it was not. And she's like, David, I could care less, and laughed. So at that point, to me, it was just like, if you don't care, then boom. And then a week goes by, nothing's got brought up. And then it got brought up on the camera once again. When we were supposed to be reading the letters to each other. And it was like the text. I was like, but you didn't say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing. Like, we had no conversations off camera. And so it was just like, and then my cousin thing, she had my back. They didn't show that. She had literally called her that night. And she was like, yeah, he was supposed to come out. And everyone thinks my cousin Denise threw me under the bus. She's not.
Because that's how it looked.
Oh yeah. Like, trust me. I know. I was like, damn, I'm sorry, Denise. But so that was that. And that was crazy in itself.
She didn't get any backlash from them showing it like she didn't have your back, did she? Your cousin?
I mean, she got a couple things over on Reddit, just the typical stuff, but she knows that she had made a call. She had spoken with Michelle. So she knows she did her thing, and she knows I love her dearly. So we joke around about it now as a family. So is
Michelle a Scorpio?
I don't know. I'm a Leo. I don't know.
Hey, you're like me. I don't know signs either, man.
Reason why I ask, I would do that same thing. I might know something, and I'm just going to let days go by and let you think you're good. And every now and then I'm going to ask you questions a different way, just to see if you slip up. And if I know you're lying, I'm just going to wait until you get it. That's what I feel like Michelle did the whole time. I was like, which is something I would do.
I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought if I come up with a better lie, she'll just drop that shit as she didn't care.
Right.
So I was like, that's why I named it Tiffany. This. And this and
There's no such thing as a better lie, David. Come on now.
I my father's always told me that. And he gave me
no such thing as a better lie.
Like, Trimble, what the fuck you doing? I thought. And then I was like, yes, Father, I know. I fucked up.
So here's the question, because even after watching that now, right? Because obviously y'all went through it together. Madison was on another side of having to answer for it, right? And then now here you guys are. How'd you get her to say, okay, I believe everything you say, even when you say, to be honest with you, how does she believe you in that moment?
I was like, either you're gonna take it or you're not. And she already knew anything that I said she was never gonna believe. So then, like, when she kept just pushing the button, I just shut down, to be completely honest with you. I'm like, let's keep it going. Okay, all right, well, this or that. Like, you were gonna believe it or you're not. So obviously you don't. Then let's move on. But it just kept going. And Carmen Sandiego came out, and that's when everything blew up at the house.
Hey, I caught flack because I kept saying, why is she constantly asking these? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? You don't care. You don't like him. You're not going to say yes on decision day. You're just biding your time, serving your sentence, get on out. Why does it matter? Right. And people came down on me in our live chat and in our comment section, and that guy too. Like, oh, you're condoning cheating. I'm like, no, I'm a married man. I'm not condoning cheating. I'm just saying, why does she care so much? Right?
It's the principle.
Hey, to each his own. You're gonna have two sides.
Yeah. When it all came to a head, were you relieved or more anxious when all of a sudden at the retreat, this comes up and, okay, let's just get it out there?
I think I was relieved because I was trying to watch baseball and watch The Sopranos when this all came down. And I was like, what more? 'Cause I was by myself all day. Like, all the couples did whatever they had to do. I was outside playing basketball, shooting golf by myself, drinking. And then it's like, okay, here we go. And then when the game questions started coming around, I was like, that's why I started putting my name, David. So it was more of a relief, but I was still disappointed in myself. And everything that I was trying to do was just protect Madison.
Yeah.
And because she never got the text, people are going to believe it. They're not going to believe it. But why would I put somebody in that position? I am a very strong person and an individual. She came here looking for love. She had her own marriage. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to try to make her in that situation of, oh, home wrecker, this or that. She never got the text message. If she did, she probably would have told me to come up with a fucking better lie. Yeah. Let's put it out there. Like, this is what you said. No. So it was all in protection of Madison. And I would always protect her, because even if we aren't where we are today, I knew she would still be a good friend, and she's a great individual, a great woman that has a big heart, and she's real. So at that point, I wouldn't even wouldn't matter. I would have did it.
Now, is that why? Isn't in the whole concept of protecting Madison why you spoke to Alan instead of her?
Ooh, that's a tricky one, because I don't think that conversation should have been had that night, just because alcohol was involved. I think it should have it should have been the four of us. But I think Alan had to hear it from me from that point. But I don't think the conversation should have happened anything of how that happened that night. I think it should have been just the four of us, or it should have been Alan and Madison and me and Michelle. Because at that point, if I had it with Michelle, I'd be like, what now? You know, it is. And then that probably would have been the end of the conversation. But the Alan thing was more of like a man respect. Like, I do have that connection, and I feel that with Madison. So that's the route that I went.
Well, I'm glad that you did, because Yonni felt, Alan got a little out of control, and I was like, no, rage. You let that out. You let that anger out. Break some cabinets if you want. Let it out. Get it out of your system. Don't keep that stuff bottled up. Rage. Let it out. I'm a big fan of raging if you need to.
There's different things. I would have been like, hey, go ahead, brother. Like, I wouldn't have put my, like, if I knew that wasn't there, I would have gotten the signs a lot earlier. If I was on that other side, that it's not going to be that next level or have that big hope. I was trying to be patient, and with Michelle on my side, to have hope that we could just get along, do stuff, have fun, and enjoy this. Because now you go back and look at it, we could have did a lot of fun stuff. I didn't do nothing on the honeymoon. Our dates with sushi, like everyone else did a lot of stuff, and then we were stuck dealing with my living situation, financials, this and that. So, but
what you saw, and when you watched the back, saw the retreat when Michelle's trying to break it down to Alan, and I thought, and I saw it, I was like, man, I feel for him in that moment, in the way she's kind of just trying to drag him into understanding. How did you feel when you watched that? Because, I mean, y'all were supposed, and granted, you've known each other while you're shooting the show, but
I had no clue they had any conversations.
Wow.
I was like, they talked this many times and I was in the same household? Like, where was I?
Watching TV? Playing golf?
Basketball? I was probably outside staring at the clouds, because I knew another conversation was coming. Like, here we go. Let's do it by the fire again.
But so when you did see it, though, how did you feel about watching it? Because you get to see your things, and you see these conversations happening, but you see this one happening. Besides the fact that you didn't know it happened, what did you feel when you saw it happening?
What did I feel? I don't know. I was kind of lost in thoughts. Like, wow, it was like it was just pushing all around, and I was like, she really going for it. Like, kudos to her. I mean, she was not going to let down. But I don't know, man. I would have been, I don't know. I would have been pushing that hard. Like,
right.
But I did feel, a little bit for Alan, but good thing that she did, because he did find out. And I just didn't think it should have been found out like that in that situation with everyone in the household. It's supposed to be a fun weekend. Because that's another thing. I didn't even know if I was going to go to couples retreat, because of the conversation me and Michelle had. She just lied in my face. Was trying to text her all week saying, hey, are you going to go? Would you like me to go? I don't want to ruin your weekend. I don't want to ruin Thomas, Camille, everybody. So then when I did walk through that door, I was like, oh, she's here. And then she was with MM. So, and it was just a little silence and, go straight to the booze.
Thomas had a real convo with you in that was like, hey, but we stood up for you. How did that feel in that moment? Because I mean, again, this is the bros together there, and you guys hanging out, and just to hear them say that, did you feel any
coming
remorse
from Thomas?
Yeah.
It hit hard. It hit home. Like I'm glad that he held me accountable, and he always will. If there's any situation, and we would do the same for him. But it hurt because me and Thomas had a strong bond from the honeymoon that was off camera. Mm-hmm. He was walking through the resort, and it was a funny story. I seen him, but I didn't know he had his ear pods. I was like, Thomas, still don't listen. I'm like, fuck. So I'm following him. He makes a right, left, and then I get lost. I'm like, do I make a right or left? Well, I found him. He's like, oh, you were trying to talk to me, and he was just struggling with the process of everything that was going on, and we had a real heart to heart. I was like, hey man, I'm going through the same thing. It's worse right now. My shit started on the wedding day. So, right. But we talked. So yeah, it did hit home for me, and I apologize to, Thomas, and he deserved that. But I'm glad that he held me accountable because that shows the type of man that he is. And I took it. There was no excuses or it's because of this or that. And he kind of seen the whole Michelle thing going on with me, and everybody was kind of shocked too once they started seeing it of how I was getting treated. I never explained that to anybody else. Right. I wasn't trying to put my shit on for other couples trying to work on something that they wanted. Right. So I was like, just kept it like, all right, cool. And then every time we go all together, I'm having a good time. I'm not trying to darken the mood. If I feel like I'm gonna be a black hole when I come in there, I ain't coming. Right. So.
Which is actually a question I was going to ask, because Madison said it when she said she didn't realize until she saw it how badly you were being treated. Because this is why in the beginning I became the president of the Michelle Hater Club, right? Because it just became like it was terrible. Did you find everybody else coming back on and I don't want to say coming back to your side because it's not like y'all we're picking sides here, but that they kind of understood a little bit more.
They may have understood it a little more. They never condoned this situation. I don't know anyone on there, but it was like, damn, you did go through a lot, David. And now I could see why you're kind of acting like you're acting, shutting down, don't give a two fucks. Because that's where I was at that point. Now it's just like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It just, I'm done. I'm moving forward. Go have a nice day, a type deal. So, yeah. But I did see people just like, oh, man. Carlos said it on the after show. I believe said something. Camille and Madison, they all kind of seen it. Yeah. And when they seen it for the first time, I was like, ooh, it was like that. And I was like, yeah, it was like that.
Like, yeah, now you know too.
Well, speaking with the fellas, right? Ike. Was there anything that we didn't see that wasn't on camera around y'all's interaction with Ike? Because I remember watching the 1 month anniversary. I think you were there. You got a chance to sneak away from work, and the whole Ike blowing up on MM thing are just some things that we didn't see about Ike that with the fellas' interactions that you can share.
So there wasn't. Ike wasn't really around in our guys' situations. I never knew about the whole Ike situation until probably knew it was getting a little bumpy, but didn't know exactly what had happened. I'm not one to ask and try to get into somebody's business because I ain't got no advice to offer other than just be respectful or just try to stay in your lane. I was a little disappointed in Ike and on the way that he was speaking to that night. Mm-hmm. And I had told him and I had stepped up. I wasn't condoning that. A woman shouldn't be spoken to like that. And especially in that atmosphere of everyone else. That's behind closed doors for you and her to handle. And, I gave Em a little too. It was like, that's not the type of woman you are. I know maybe the situation and she wanted everybody to know, and I respect that. But it just sucked how it happened. That I think it could have been handled differently, such as my situation. There's a lot of stuff, but when cameras are around and 3 months seems like a year and a half in that time. I can imagine. Because you're filming 12 hours a day. It's just constantly go. And in my situation, I was working Sunday through Thursday from 2 to 10:30. So all my filming was done Friday and Saturday and so forth. So there wasn't a lot of time for me and Michelle to even have. And I don't even know if she was home. Sometimes when I got home, the door was shut. She said she lived there, but I don't know.
Right.
And the one conversation that we did have after that anniversary was because I heard her walk in the door. My door was shut. But if I would have kept my door shut, that conversation would have never been had about saying what happened with the rest of the night.
If it makes you feel any better, Ike took more smoke from us on the podcast than you did. So
Ike means well. Like, I don't know him personally that well. It's more of just interactions of what he said and how he is as a person and vibes off of. Does have a lot of metaphors. I did call him on that, but I wish him the best. And I think he just needs to find himself and just do his own thing. And I've told him that when we had our guys' night at the end of Where They At Now type deal. Right. Just he needs a person to vibe with him, but when he's ready for it, not the situation. Because I thought everything was going real smooth on honeymoon. I was like, man, they got letters for each other. They're touching, they're dipping off. I was like, wow.
And he's offering advice to everybody else, and in the meantime, not taking any of it.
And I'm over here walking the island by myself, the resort by myself, 6:30 morning, watching the sunrise, watching Juan do 50 laps in the ocean.
How did it feel then when after the retreat? Because now it's all out, and then you and Madison now get to at least. It's out in the open. It's out in the, at least I would say in the public, but to all the other cast members. But now you can actually hang out without having to worry about who's around and, is this producer here? Is that producer there? Is a cameraman coming around? How does that feel?
It actually took some time. We didn't see each other for about like 2 weeks. It was just more of a check-in mentally because at that point I was mentally drained. I was beat up. I stopped going to the gym. I even tell my mother or father about anything. The first friend that I told was my boy Tommy, and I was like, I was embarrassed, one, of the situation, and then two, just didn't know where to go or how things were. Even if Madison wanted to even ride with me, or did I just do this for nothing? But there was a lot going in the head, and there's not a lot of time to process. So when they ask you a question, it's like, all right, I don't know, and I just shut down because that's what I've done in the past. And that was something that I didn't want to do. But it came to that point where I was just like, I just got to worry about myself in that aspect.
To be fair, it did look like at some point when they're asking you guys individually, and it looked like she was like, yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen after. It almost felt like, okay, now that it's found out, I'm done, right? And that's kind of how it came across. I don't know if that's edits or was that something that you kind of just like, okay, well, look. We need to play safe until decision day, at least.
It was more of the play it safe. Mm-hmm. I feel that we just needed to take our time for ourselves and actually figure out what we are doing. We came here for marriage, and now this is not the route it is. We don't want to ruin our friendship either. So it was more of take our space, just check in, make sure if she needs anything, I would be there. And she did the vice versa for me. So it was more of let things cool down. But, then when decision day came and you meet with the experts and they're just like, I felt like I left and right.
You mean this moment? Oh.
Yeah.
Yo, Pastor Cal was like a daddy or teacher. Like, sit up straight.
Here we go.
It's interesting because the way it was portrayed was also like you were diving in head first and she was being hesitant. That's how it looked, right? And from us on the outside, and it's a little different for you, even though you see it and you're seeing it for the first time when it's airing, but you lived it, right? And for us looking at it, this is what it kind of looked like. Is that kind of what it is, or was it as even on both sides as you just kind of said, try to allude to?
I was on the heavier side because I knew what I wanted. I knew what she had. I wanted, and that was something that I took my shot, and I'm going to go for it. But I'm not going to push it to the point where I'm pushing her away. I'm going to give her respect and her space, and if it does happen to be, then it'll be meant to be. So it was like if I was real nervous, like when I golfed with her and asked her on a date, like. They didn't want to do something too much, but I just wanted to have fun and enjoy her company because she does make me smile. She makes me happy. And it's like, she's a great person to be around, that vibe. Like, and that was the whole big thing too, going back on the honeymoon. Like I said, I had a connection to, it was more of the vibe of like, this is somebody I could fuck with and have a good time with and just enjoy life. It's not too serious. Like, so
people who don't play golf wouldn't understand that part of it, where it's like, do you have somebody that you can go to the range with, or you'll get ready to go out on the course and they're going to go with you and play with you as well. And when I saw that day, while you're getting crushed in our live chat, they're like, we don't even want to see this. So I'm like, why? They're having fun.
Yeah, and that was the one thing that we wanted to do, was keep it light. We went on a chicken wing date. We went golfing. We went to the gym. We had a gym date. And so, we even hung out with the Thomas and Camille at one point and had drinks where they did ask us, and they held us accountable again. It was more of like just keeping it enjoyable, fun, and moving forward, and not putting that pressure on us where we have to be together now because this all came out. It was just, we want to take our time day by day, and we're still doing that. We do see the comments, they're there, and then that's one thing that we've talked about and had conversations about. Just people are gonna have their thoughts, they're gonna have their opinions, they're gonna try to poke at you and rile you up, and that's what they're looking for, is the response. But to each his own. We know what we have. We know that it's real. It's not for the cameras. So it's like, it kind of laugh at it now, like, damn, you guys got so much time. You just want to keep going. But I wish people would realize that we are human. We do have hearts, and there are some things that are said that, can catch you off guard and make you think like, fuck, am I really that bad of a person? Or did I do this for no reason? It's tough, but I wish people have bigger hearts and just understanding on that aspect, because they're shaming everybody on the show. And I get it. It's reality TV. We didn't know what we signed up for, but on that aspect of the back end, and to this day, like now that it just aired, but it's interesting. We've gotten death threat letters, so yeah, it's like, wow, to somebody that
we can relate, because people leave comments on our deal, and I'm just like, he's the one to calm me down. So I'll be like, who is this? I'm going to say this. He's like, let it go, because they just want a response. But sometimes I want to, especially if I've been having a few drinks, I really want to say something to somebody, but I take the high road.
And just don't waste your energy on stuff that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, it's all you can do.
Exactly.
So I had a conversation with a coworker the other day, and she had this point that she felt that in every relationship, one person likes one more than the other. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. And I made the comment, I'm like, well, should be the guy that probably likes her more. And so when it comes to you and Madison, who do you feel likes who more? Is it you or Madison?
Oh, it's me. I said that from the beginning. I ain't got no shame in it. Like I said, I know what I want. I know she's got it. And when and you have that feeling, like when I tell you, it is easy as a man to have this woman in my life and want to come home to and just spend nights with her, not go out with her. Oh, I need to run away from to go golfing with my guys. Like I could be like, hey, baby, you want to go shoot 18? And she understands me as that person, and I understand her friend group is amazing. They love me and I love them. And it's just like, I never wanted to change her. She doesn't want to change me. And that's the person that I need in my life, and that I have, and I know what I got, and I ain't going to lose that. I gotta fumble this motherfucking rock.
Well, I could tell looking at your Instagram now that y'all started posting a lot of pictures, but you have the same look in your eyes that I have on the pictures with my girlfriend, because I like her more than she likes me. But I love that about it. I love that about it, because it makes you want to work. It makes you want to put in effort. Because I've had the reverse where someone really liked me, and I was just like, this is cool, but
it's like,
boring now.
Where do we go from here?
You've said this on the show where you said, you wish that you almost wish that she was the one that walked down the aisle, right? Do you think that you would have had that same connection immediately with her that you have now? Was it the conversations in the gym? Because remember, y'all had conversations that were just, okay, well, here's what this is, right? And just helping each other out first, knowing that there's a physical attraction, but there's still there's more conversation that lets it get deeper. Do you think y'all have still gotten to that point? Had you started off at the altar?
I believe like it would have gone in the right direction where we were trying to figure out who each other are and respect each other and have that. But with all the pressure and everything that goes around it, I think it might have tainted it. So where I'm at now with her is in an amazing place. So that's tough. Like I would have and loved to enjoy like those 3 months with her, but I don't know if we would be the same individuals that we are together right now, because I think we've just gone through the hardest thing that any couple could probably go through. And if we can make it through this, everything after this is easy. It's like it's a conversation. We might have our, you go over there, I go over here type deal, but to come back to we fought for this together, and when you fight together, there ain't no stopping you. So.
We'll say y'all look very happy. Something that's come up as well too that I've seen, and again, you didn't watch it before, Married at First Sight before, but in the early seasons, the couples didn't meet up, like on the honeymoon and all this other stuff.
Madison had said that, like, and I think it was like an hour after, like we talked to production. She's like, I feel like it should. I was like, I never knew that, because our gym scene, I think it was more of like they overheard us talking. I'm like, I probably said, hey, she's gonna be my gym partner because of her physique. I seen the vein popping out, broad shoulders, wide back. I was like, hey, all right, okay. But and then
you lift, bro.
and exactly, it was more of a gym thing. And then next, we're the only two doing an activity together on the honeymoon. Like that was where it was like, oh, we plan to go there. Walked in and I was like, yeah, I'm going to the gym with Madison today on the honeymoon. Right. And it was like, okay. I was like, I'm just going with what the lead is.
Now, Ike said he saw this from the get-go. Is he just saying it, or is this something that he was in the gym and saw y'all and was like, really?
No, he was on the Peloton while I was on the treadmill, but I think where he's seen it from me taking a beating on the honeymoon and seeing that, and then seeing how I was in the gym in the morning, talking happy, like, hey, I think that's kind of what he meant on that aspect. Is like, I see David's glow. Like, he's happy. Anytime
you mean like now?
right now. So and that's the funny thing. She calls me out all the time. She's like, oh, you get nervous with me. I'm like, I was like, how you know? She's like, you play with your hair. I'm like, because I feel like when I start talking about it, I talk about it way too much. And then I need to get manly again. Like,
I will say, Terrell gave you a lot of props on the birthday, especially the hotel room. He said you went above and beyond in trying to make that day special for her.
Yeah. My buddy Keisha's girl set that up. A door to a core. She did an amazing job. I'm with that. She's and something funny about that is when she decorated the room, she had sent me a photo or a video of it. Seeing it, I was like, oh, it looks beautiful. But when I went to go check it out, the I love you was there. And I wasn't ready to say I love you at that point. Like, yo, that's talk about a love bomb. Like, I was like, oh no. And I was like, okay. I'm like, well, fuck it. It's up there. If you've done anything
take
else,
these 3 balloons out, please.
But she loved it, and I want to make every birthday special for her like that. This year, I contact about 40, 50 friends to send videos, 30-second videos of wishing a happy birthday because she came out of town. So I played those for her in the morning, made her breakfast, and we did our thing. So I like little things like that when she's gone on vacation to come home to flowers or do this and just have no worry in the world for her. So
nice.
It's
and that steak was bomb as fuck at the Adelina. I hope y'all see my face talking to it because I do talk to my food, and I just had In-N-Out.
Yeah,
that just was juicy.
For all those people who had a lot to say, and here's the thing: I think a lot of people went. A lot of women that were commenting were saying, "Oh yeah, well, Michelle was the hero of the season, right? Because of constantly sticking to it and until with the text message." And so as a result, if you have the hero, you got to have the villain. And they painted you as the villain, you and Madison as the villains of the season. What do you say now? Because you and Madison, Camille and Thomas, have the love stories out of this entire season.
You know, it was a rough journey, and here we are. Like I said, people are going to paint us good, bad, but the real people that we have behind us and know us, who we are at the end of the day, those are all that matter to us. And I'd like to say thank you to all those that have been on our social media, giving us the love and the support and the kind words. You know, you have the ones that we just block because it's unnecessary. But right. I do want to give a shout out to all those people that actually see true love and see the genuineness that we have. Like when we are in Barbados, people could just see us when we're dancing to Sade, you know, smooth operator on the dance. They see it, you know, and those mean a lot to us. Is like we can just see the pure joy and the smile that you guys have, and this is the love that Madison wanted. And I remember her saying when we were getting my tattoo, she's like, "I've never been loved, and I know how to love, and that's all I want to give her." So, and she sees it now, and she always said she's gonna be, "Don't ever stop courting me, though." And I'll never stop. You know, she put it out. It's gonna be hard to date, and she travels a lot for work and everything. But her support system with her friends and family, I look at them as friends and family now as well. Nice. And I could see when our families do coincide, it's gonna be one fucking hell of a wedding. I'll tell you that.
See, I think when you like somebody more, you're never gonna stop courting them. You're always gonna be doing some things for them. You'll be 80 years old, still trying to pull some stuff together. So I'm with you on that, man.
Don't worry, guys. I do pay the bills. She doesn't pay for the truck. Oh, get this out of here.
We weren't even going to ask that.
I know, but I had to say it.
And someone told me to ask you that. And I'm like, I'm not going to ask that question. That's not
I really don't care what people like. Someone said it on, so we're like, I hope he's paying his way.
Right. It's almost like in the sense that even when you said that she's the breadwinner, people took that like and made it a bad thing. And you shouldn't be intimidated by a woman who makes more than you anyway. That's not a bad thing.
And that's what I was kind of trying to say. And then breadwinner probably wasn't the best word to say at that point, but it was a long fucking day camera. Like I didn't say like just say anything. But it was more of the age thing. I was like, yeah, she's younger. Who cares? She's gonna go out. I was that age. Yeah, she makes more money, but I have my own money. I don't need her money. But when we build something together, it's gonna be us. You know, and I'm never gonna strive for that. I'm going to work for my own, have my own, but also we're going to have ours together. So. Right.
And to be fair, I mean, because you see the comments when people say, "Oh, well, he moved into her place." But if you moved her into your place downstairs, they're going to have even worse things to say. Don't spit that out.
And goodbye.
So you can't win for losing either way, right? So,
but when she did ask me that night, I felt that was one of our moments where we knew we were going to take the next step. And
nice. And
it was pure joy. Her girlfriends were crying, and I was in shock. I was like, hey, you know, because we had talked about it. Because I was going to look at places like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Are we going to do this? But now, you know, we're saving up for a wedding, you know, and get a bigger and better things. And we're just moving forward together. And that's the biggest thing that I enjoy. It's a team effort.
Have you had any sushi since the honeymoon?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Come on. And hey, I will tell you this. When we've gone to Barbados, I'm not a big seafood person. It's more the texture for me.
Right.
My family, they do the oysters, this and that. I've had my first oysters with her, swordfish. She's opened up my palate, and those are things that I don't mind trying. And that was the thing that I think even the experts had said, like, how do you think about this, Michelle? Like, show him new things, because I like new things. I don't mind trying it once. And if I don't like it, fuck, I won't eat it again.
Right.
But it's like, I never had like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it mentality. So I'll try it once, and she's opened up my food palate. That's for sure.
Well, that's a good thing. You know, from the gym to the golf course to the tattoo parlor, you and Madison, as we've seen, on the same page. And again, you're glowing right now, man. And we usually don't say that from fella to fella, but yeah, you're definitely glowing. You're looking happy. I appreciate you actually jumping on with us and clearing up a lot of the questions. Because again, you've seen it. You said you watched the pod over the season, and you've seen people have had a lot to say.
Oh, don't worry, that sweater's coming. Honestly, I was gonna say I don't give a fuck. I'm not.
To be honest with you, I don't give.
It's coming soon.
So, if anybody wants to follow you, see all these happy, glowing pictures, where can they find you, man?
Chi-Town Shark or Chi-Town _Shark. Probably should change that because that was back in my workout day when I had a nice body. Yeah. But now get to 35, it gets a little hefty. Yeah, and then you can follow Madison's page. We haven't discussed where we're trying to do. It's just concentrating on us right now. And we appreciate all the love and people asking to want to go to our weddings and this and that. And it's very nice to hear and heartfelt. So, but yeah, you go on my Instagram. She does all the things and drops it because I'm in my social media skills. I ain't all that.
You just hit accept the collab, huh?
Yep.
There you go. That's the way.
I bet I'm dropping a photo bomb. I'm like, all right, cool. Because when I do some shit, I'm like, damn, did I spell it right? Is this okay? Like when I put that one video. There was a video of us in Barbados. I was like, "What are you doing, tink tink?" And she's like, "You put that out?" I was like, "That's us naturally." Like, I'm not. But
she's like, "Quick, delete."
Now she reposted it, so I was like, "But from this point on, I would get like, is this okay?" You know,
right?
So
nothing wrong with that. So, by the way, just before we get out of here, last thing, because you mentioned it twice already so far. Is she wearing a ring now? She
is wearing a ring that during the after shows, it was like we knew the reunion. This is going to be a hard one for us, and it was more of the know that I'm right by you. Don't go snapping off on something that's unnecessary. That's old news. And I wear one because it's me. Like I know that's my wife. I say my wife, I don't have to have that piece of paper that says that. So she's mine and I'm hers. So.
And you guys have a date yet?
No, it's in the near future. We still want to travel, have a good time and enjoy what we're doing and experience life together before we need to do all that.
So these aren't engagement rings. These are like promise rings.
Your commitment rings.
Oh man, this was going so good.
No, I'm glad for Brandon and MM and what they have. MM deserves what she needs, and she's got it right now. And I see the glow when she speaks about him. So I appreciate all of them. For doing this. So,
did you feel you couldn't have any judgment of her and Brandon?
No, I mean it was crazy. I was like, wow.
Still crazy.
Because I left before that because I had to go to work.
Right.
Like, what happened?
Yeah. You're like, wait.
This was a good work day to go to.
Hey, David, appreciate you, man. It was a good season. You provided a lot of entertainment. A lot of comments and controversy throughout the entire season. We wish you and Madison the best, man, because again, we see the glow and we see the happiness in both of you. What do you shoot on the golf course?
87, 90, 95, kind of good bad day,
What does Madison shoot?
She shoots around the same, actually. She got a nice drive. I'll be honest with you. I'm like,
okay.
From the whites?
Her game needs a little work, but short game doesn't,
From the whites? She drives from the whites?
Yeah, she drives from the whites.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she is.
Not from the ladies'
hey,
tees.
Just because I am a woman, I know. Like she will play from the whites. Let's go. Anything that we do, from playing pool, she's a pool shark. That's for sure. She got me on that one, and then we play darts together. Everything. So.
That is good, man. I mean, hey, sounds like a lot of fun. We wish you the best, man, and appreciate you again. Thanks for hanging out with us today, man.
All right, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all, and I'll continue to listen. And if you ever want a special guest again, you know, just know where I'll be. Not in the basement.
Definitely not in the basement. For everyone else, do us a favor, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm Yonni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yonni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit you find on the internet. We may talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
All right, fellas.
Cheers.